Ever crack open a business book, maybe like late at night, and think, okay, this is all great advice, but how do I actually use this? Like, how do I take this and actually like apply it to what I'm doing? So today, we're going to get our hands dirty with advanced metrics and real-time analytics.
I like it.
And trust me, this is way more exciting than it sounds. We're going deep with Kamyar Shah. He's like amazing when it comes to business strategy, and we're going to turn all of his wisdom into pure actionable gold.
The best part is you don't have to be like a data scientist to use this stuff. Like, it's really about understanding the core concepts, and then you can apply those to anything.
Okay, so let's talk about this thing called cohort analysis. This one is huge. Imagine you could take all your customers, right? And you could split them up into these little groups based on like things they have in common.
Right, like little mini focus groups.
Exactly. So maybe they all like signed up for your service in July. Or maybe they all bought that, like snazzy blue sweater that you sell.
Right.
And that's a cohort.
And what's so cool about this is you can start to see patterns that you would totally miss otherwise. Shah gives this example of an e-commerce company. And they use this to figure out why people weren't sticking around.
Oh, interesting.
Like their customer retention was really low. And they couldn't figure out why. Well, it turns out that the people who bought stuff during a big sale were way less likely to come back for more.
Interesting.
But without cohort analysis, they'd have never known.
That's wild. So you're saying instead of just seeing like this big mass of customers, you can get really granular.
Exactly.
And that lets you, kind of like tailor your approach.
Exactly, yeah. So let's say you roll out a new feature on your app. Cohort analysis can track which of those customer groups is actually using it.
That's cool.
If their engagement goes up. And ultimately, like, is it actually making a difference to your bottom line?
Wow.
It's like having a personalized roadmap for each of these customer segments.
So we're talking about way more than just vanity metrics here, right? This is about like getting into the nitty-gritty of why things happen, not just what's happening.
You got it. And to get that full view, like the 360-degree view, Shah talks about the power of these multidimensional KPI dashboards.
Break that down for me. What makes these dashboards so special?
So imagine this. You're not just seeing your sales numbers, but you're seeing them broken down by product, by region, by like which marketing campaign actually brought those customers in.
Wow.
And it's all connected, so you can see how tweaking one thing affects everything else.
It's like having that aha moment, right? You finally see the complete picture of your business and how all the parts connect.
Absolutely.
And so like instead of just feeling the pain points, you have all the information right there. Like diagnose the problem and come up with a solution. No more flying blind, right?
Exactly. Exactly. It's like upgrading, from a basic map to a full-blown like GPS navigation system. So you're not just seeing where you are. You're seeing the best route to get to where you want to go.
Okay, I'm sold on these dashboards, but I have to imagine some people listening to this are like, this is all great if, you're Google or something. But I just have like a small business.
I hear that a lot, actually. But honestly, you don't need like a massive tech team to use this stuff. Even small businesses can benefit hugely from these tools.
So it's more of a mindset shift than anything.
100%,
It's more about recognizing that data is for everybody.
For everyone.
Not just like giant companies.
Exactly,
Okay, so let's say I'm ready to embrace my inner data geek here.
Love it.
Where do I even begin?
Well, Shah talks about the importance of starting with a clear question. So like, what do you actually want to understand about your business? Is it customer churn? Sales trends, like how effective is your marketing?
It's like that old saying, right? If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there.
100%.
Except in this case, it's more like, if you don't know what you're looking for, any data is going to look important.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Once you know what you're trying to figure out, then you can start looking at, okay, what data do we have? What data are we missing? And then how can we use that to answer those questions?
So it's not always about collecting more data.
Not necessarily.
It's about being smarter about what you're collecting.
It's about intentionality with data.
I like it.
And then, of course, you have to make sure you can actually understand and use that data. And that brings us to, this exciting world of predictive analytics.
Okay, yeah, we teased this earlier, but
Yep.
let's dive in.
Okay.
What's the deal with predicting the future?
Right.
Is this like a magic trick?
I-ish. No, it's actually all based on
Okay.
math and statistics.
Okay.
And basically, you're using historical data
Right.
to identify patterns and trends.
Okay.
And those can help you anticipate future outcomes.
So it's like saying, hey, this is what happened in the past when we did this.
Right.
So if we do it again,
Exactly.
we can probably expect this to happen.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a cause and effect kind of thing.
You got it. And Shah actually gives this great example
Okay.
about a subscription box company.
Okay.
They were struggling with customer churn.
Oh, yeah.
So people sign up
Yeah.
and then they cancel after a couple months.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
So they're like, how do we use predictive analytics to solve this problem?
Yeah.
Well, they started by just analyzing the data from their past subscribers.
Okay.
So like, what did they buy? How often did they visit the website?
Right.
Even down to like, which social media posts were they interacting with?
Okay, so they're really building out a picture of these customers.
Exactly, yeah. They're getting really, really specific.
Yeah, okay.
And they fed all that data into a predictive model.
Okay.
And they were able to identify some really interesting patterns.
Like what?
Like, for example, they found that customers who gave their first box a 5-star rating were way less likely to churn than those who didn't.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So they're basically identifying these early warning signs, right?
Exactly.
But knowing is only half the battle, right?
You're telling me that's where the magic happens?
Okay.
So once they knew who was likely to churn, they could try to figure out why.
Right.
So maybe they reach out to those customers proactively.
Okay.
Maybe they offer them a discount.
Right.
Or just check in, see if they're happy with the service.
Yeah.
And that could potentially save those customer relationships.
So you're going from reactive to proactive.
Exactly.
Instead of waiting for them to leave.
Right.
You're keeping them engaged.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
Yeah. No, it's really powerful.
And I imagine, like, this same approach could apply to other areas of a business.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not just about, like, customer churn.
Right. Think about something like, demand forecasting.
Okay.
So let's say you're a clothing retailer and it's, getting ready for the holidays.
Sure.
By analyzing past sales data, you might realize that, certain items just always sell out in December.
Yeah.
So instead of just guessing how much to order, you can use that data to make a smarter prediction.
So you're optimizing inventory.
Exactly. You're anticipating demand.
Wow.
And you can even maybe, like, spot some trends.
Yeah, like what's going to be hot before everybody else does.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, that's powerful stuff. You're practically a mind reader with this predictive analytics stuff.
Well, not quite a mind reader, but you're getting the idea.
It's like you're taking all the guesswork out of running a business.
In a way, yeah.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We talked about understanding your customers with cohort analysis.
Right.
We talked about those KPI dashboards.
Yes.
And like even predicting the future with predictive analytics.
It's a lot.
Is there anything else? Like if businesses really want to, harness the power of all this data, is there anything else they should be thinking about?
It's funny because a lot of people get so caught up in gathering the data, making the predictions, that they forget about one really important thing.
What's that?
Speed.
Oh, okay.
You got to be able to move fast.
Right.
Especially these days.
Like real-time stuff.
Yeah, real-time data monitoring is key.
Okay, so what's Shah's take on this?
He's a huge advocate for it.
Okay.
He always says it's like having your finger on the pulse of your business.
I like it.
Constantly monitoring its vital signs.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
But what does that actually look like, in practice? Are we talking about like staring at spreadsheets all day, constantly hitting refresh?
No. Thank goodness for technology, right?
Right.
We've got all these amazing tools that do the heavy lifting for us.
Okay.
Think about like dashboards that are updating automatically every few seconds.
Wow.
Showing you things like, website traffic, sales conversions, social media mentions, all that as it's happening.
So I could like literally watch a surge in sales happen right in front of me.
Absolutely.
That's what?
And not just watch it happen, but actually understand why it's happening.
Right.
Like you can see what's driving those sales.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So you're saying, like, let's say we do a social media post.
Yeah.
And we're running a sale.
Right.
We could see in real time how that's affecting our sales.
Exactly.
Wow.
So instead of having to wait like weeks or even months to analyze the results of a campaign,
right,
you're getting that feedback almost instantly.
It's like you're always ahead of the curve.
Exactly. It allows you to be so much more agile.
Right.
Like you can make adjustments on the fly.
Yeah, that's huge.
Before it's too late. Exactly.
Okay. This has been amazing.
It has.
Like, we covered so much ground today.
I know, right?
We talked about cohort analysis. We talked about these KPI dashboards.
Yeah.
We even talked about, like, predicting the future.
Yeah.
And then this real-time data monitoring.
It's a lot to digest.
It's a lot.
But the important thing to remember
yeah.
is that none of this is out of reach.
Okay, good.
Like, you don't have to be a tech genius.
Right.
You don't have to have a massive budget.
Right.
If you're willing to embrace this data-driven mindset, you can achieve some pretty incredible things.
I love that.
Yeah.
So as we're wrapping up this deep dive here,
yeah,
what's like one piece of advice that you would give to our listeners who are like, excited, ready to put all this into action?
Start small. You don't have to do everything at once.
Right.
Pick one area where you want to improve.
Okay.
Maybe it's understanding your customers better.
Right.
Maybe it's optimizing your marketing,
Right, right.
Just start with a specific question.
Okay.
And then figure out how can data help you find the answers.
So don't try to boil the ocean.
Exactly.
Pick one thing, experiment, learn from it.
Yeah, love it.
And iterate.
Exactly. Yeah. Because the world of data is always changing.
Always changing.
So you always want to be learning and adapting.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fantastic. I really appreciate you joining me today.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to The Deep Dive. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into the world of knowledge and insights. Until then, keep those data fires burning.